So, you've just got up and running with your shiny new Jahia platform. What's next? You probably want to connect with your audience, and in the places where it matters most to them. Thanks to Jahia StackConnect, you can easily link over 250 of the most popular business applications to your Jahia platform, creating a marketing suite that helps you stack up and stand out. Let's see it in action. This is the recipe dashboard. You can access all of the recipes using the menu here, including the active, recently stopped, and trash bin recipes, along with everything else. And I can create new folders with this button here. I can search my recipes using the search bar and apply filters. As you can see, I've got a few recipes already set up, one from Jahia to Salesforce, Salesforce to Jahia, and Jahia to both Salesforce and Slack. I can use this menu to start, clone, or delete my recipe. I can create a new recipe using the button here. This opens up the recipe wizard. Recipes are split into two pillars, triggers and actions. First, I need to set up my trigger, which will initiate the recipe by selecting from over 250 applications. I'm going to start by selecting Jahia using the search bar. Next, I need to select my trigger event. This is going to be one of the many events which are tracked across the Jahia platform. I hit next to progress. Now I need to select from one of my pre-existing Jahia platform connections using the drop-down menu. Setting up a Jahia connection is as simple as feeding StackConnect a domain, URL, API key, and username and password. Most connectors just require you to log in. If I want to switch connectors, I can just use this button. I'm going to hit next to progress. I need to specify from when this connector should be active, so if I wanted to, I could set it to retroactively pull data. Finally, I specify my event type. The events tracked by Jahia encompass a wide range of user actions, including a page view, log on, a form submission, a goal match, a new session, a file download, a specific search, a specific consent change, and interacting with an A/B test. In this scenario, I'm going to use the form submission event. I can select from all the forms I have running on my Jahia platform. I hit next one final time to complete my trigger. Now I need to define the second part of my recipe, the action, that is, what my recipe actually does when the trigger fires. I could do a variety of different things, but for this recipe I'm going to add a subscriber to a mailing list and hit next. Time to select my MailChimp instance from the drop-down. Setting this up is as simple as logging into MailChimp. I then select which mailing list on MailChimp I want to add the subscriber to. I need to choose which field from Jahia I want to map to the MailChimp email address. This is super easy to do, thanks to the handy Properties menu, which gives me a quick access to all the fields from my trigger application, which I can scroll through or just use the search. I wish to subscribe the user to the mailing list, so I set the status as subscribed. I can also add a ton of additional fields if I want to, but I'm going to keep things simple for now. All that's left is to hit finish and create my recipe. It's that easy. If I want, I can immediately test my recipe, but before we do that, let's look at the recipe build screen. When you're comfortable with StackConnect, you can skip the setup wizard entirely and build your recipes right here using a drag and drop interface to create your triggers and actions. There are also a lot of additional tools at your disposal here, including the ability to create a new application action, set an if or if else condition, repeat an action, call a different recipe, and much more. It's almost time to test our recipe, but before we can, we need a form submission event to occur. Let's switch across to our Jahia instance. This is the Jahia instance my StackConnect is interfaced with. I'm going to submit this form now to create the event for our recipe to pick up. With that done, let's switch back to our recipe. We're back again in StackConnect. If I want, I can immediately start my recipe with the drop down here, but I'm going to test it first. StackConnect switches me to the job panel, where I can see all the details around when the recipe is fired, whether it's been successful, and what the date has been sent. I can also manually trigger the recipe here. Great, My recipe has picked up the event. It's executing the data transfer now. Let's switch across to our MailChimp mailing list to see if our user's been subscribed. Over in MailChimp, this is the mailing list my recipe feeds into. As you can see, our contact isn't here yet. Let's refresh the page and see if he's been added. Success! Mark's been added and subscribed to my mailing list. My recipe has worked perfectly. It's really that easy to create invaluable links between your different applications, helping you to stack up and stand out. Jahia, making digital simpler.